I think New Mexico has way too many forms. What I would like to see is and I'm not talking about, the listing agreement, the purchase agreement. We have those in Colorado too, but we just don't need 30 forms on a single contract. It's confusing for people. Most of it's not even relevant for them. I would like to, and then we're having them sign these things to like show that they read it, but also they're probably not reading the estimated property tax levy form, so it's just one of those things where just because they sign it, I think it almost creates more of liability. If we're sending them a 80 to 112 page document, even if we break it up, that's still so much legal jargon that they're getting. Also added on with the lending versus in Colorado, it's like a running joke. I always feel like I'm forgetting something because in Colorado we have, the listing agreement, the purchase agreement. We have a 2-page form that we have to present to buyers whenever we start having a conversation with them. Now we have the buyer broker agreement. But aside from that, there's the property disclosures, source of water, lead-based paint, and I'm missing one. But the square footage disclosure. And they're 1 page, and that's it. And it's really just for information for the buyer to have.
So for the purchase contract up in Colorado, give the audience an idea of how long is that agreement?
It is very similar. So the purchase agreement, listing agreement are very similar, but we already have, it's not really a menu-based option, but if someone is, let's say, this isn't really on the listing agreement, so let's just say on the purchase agreement, if someone is paying cash, we don't need to read all about the loan and the loan availability and the loan timeline and owner carry, like it's just not relevant. So we just check a box and it completely gets rid of that section, and it says section 4, loan information, whatever it's titled, omitted from contract. So they can see that something's omitted because there's going to be, a gap in the numbers, because also our contracts the lines are labeled like a legal contract would be. Yeah. So you're going to see like a gap in the line. So it tells you what's been omitted. So we do already have that. But like I was saying this morning, we've had one change, I think in 6 years. And that was just to add broker compensation information at the bottom. It has been the same contracts the entire time, which there's something to be said about consistency.
Yeah, because the argument could be that, when we're constantly changing these contracts, not only is it confusing to the consumer, to the client, whether you're buying or selling, if you do it on a regular basis, which not a lot of people do, it can become confusing because 2 years ago, the forms were different than they are today. But also for the realtors. I
have a hot take too. I think it's up to ourselves to protect ourselves. Follow the rules. Don't get too involved in the contract. Explain to them their options. Let the buyer and seller decide. And then you don't have any extra liability. You're just doing your job. Mm-hmm. I think it doesn't matter how many forms you have if you are not doing what you're supposed to be doing, or overstepping, or being more like an agent than a broker. Mm-hmm. I think that's where you can get into trouble.
And if somebody's going to skirt the rules, they're not going to care that there's a form to tell them not to.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that to that point, if we change something on one agreement, then all of a sudden we have 5 or 6 other things that we have to go back and change too, so that everything is
and stuff is
continuity.
Missed. The signing programs are never up to date. Me and Shannon talk about this often. Mm-hmm. Like it's like as soon as one gets up to date, they change it again. And now you change one thing on a fillable and it changes it again in another spot on a wrong contract or on a different form that's completely wrong, or even on the same form sometimes, or it gets rid of it completely. Like it's a mess.
And there's a lot of liability there too.
I sent a video all grumpy. Yeah. I was like, look, I type it in here and it's popping up here.